Hi everyone, my name is Ameen and I will be presenting Group 1 solution to the design thinking challenge, which we have named SAMELY, which is short for same and family. So the insight that we found interesting from our interviews was that in an attempt to look after an elderly person's physical health, the person's mental health was negatively affected because the person was removed from their social sphere. So the need we got from that is that elderly persons need a way to increase their social interactions with others because we believe that by increasing their social liveliness, their mental, psychosocial, and physical health will be improved. So what is Semily and how does it work? Semily is a platform that connects users with similar and complementary values, languages, and attitudes by organizing social, physical, and virtual activities for them. It does this by using a user or caregiver generated profile that matches users that matches similar users using an algorithm. Include safety features to ensure the well-being of the elderly and can arrange transport to in-person events and user feedback to update the user profile and improve the algorithm. We recognize that not everybody, not all elderly people have the same access and technical proficiency to technology. So Semily is actually a range of different solutions which provide differing levels of accessibility and also cater to different levels of technical proficiency. So for our value proposition canvas, we identified that in order to increase the social activities of the elderly, they would have to make friends, organize transport to events, choose their activities, and they would actually have to know and meet people in their area. So the the pains that could come with organizing those social activities is the person might not actually know anyone in the area. There might be a lack of social opportunities. People often have differing interests. It's often awkward to make the first move. There are safety concerns. The person might not have any physical activity, and it's often difficult to make plans. So the value propositions that Semily offers to alleviate these pains is that it introduces the elderly to each other, it creates opportunities for social interaction, it reduces the awkwardness of approaching each other, it matches people with the same interests, it improves their physical activity, it verifies the users for safety, and it makes the plans for you. The gains that the elderly can get from improving their social activity is that improved health, they get to partake in enjoyable activities, they less work for the caregiver and it could lower the burden on healthcare. The value propositions that Semily offers to create these gains is that it organizes activities that the users like, resulting in them being healthier. It keeps them busy and it increases their activity. So Semily achieves all of this through allowing the elderly to meet new people, allowing them to video chat and meet in person. It selects the activities for them and then organizes transport. Um, so who would pay for Semily? So we believe that by leveraging the cost savings from improving the health of the elderly to the funders of healthcare, we can provide a product that is free to the end user. And we would consider advertising also on the platform, but under strict ethical consideration for advertising to a vulnerable group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ameen. I have a question on when you were talking about it removes the awkwardness of making the first move. Can you think of a way to make it maybe a little bit easier? Like, because you're asking them to make new friends, right?
Yeah.
And I almost feel that at that age, that's almost one of the hardest things to do. So I'm just thinking, is there any way, anything that you can think of to make it even easier to make new friends, or just to alleviate that bit of a pain point that could come up?
I guess a solution to that could be that we have maybe events where, like icebreaker events, where you meet these people for the first time, but with event organizers and facilitators to make that. So maybe when you meet the person for the first time, it's in a controlled environment, which also adds to the safety, I guess, for future.
Okay. I see in the chat that Prashant or Shah, I'm not sure, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so Ameen, can you hear me?
Yes.
So very nice presentation. I have 3 questions for you.
Thank you.
In fact, I thought 2, but now by the time I'm speaking, I have 3. I promise that there won't be a 4th one. So question number 1 is, why do you think this will not work? Or what components of it will not work?
What might not work is, I guess, just the teaching of using the platform. So we've tried to address that by having different options of accessibility, but I think you would have to test it to see if that would actually work, but that's a concern.
Okay. My second question is, it seems to me that you have chosen quite an ambitious multi-channel mode to delivery and reach, which I completely understand the reason for. Is you want to use the smart speaker, you want to use a basic phone, you want to use SMS as a response. You want to do like a multi-channel where you don't want to miss anyone out. At times, any enterprise which in the very beginning creates a expensive, because I hope you realize that when you create a multi-channel strategy, it's going to be quite expensive for you to deploy. You would rather need a large tech team. You would need a license of a lot of APIs, and you'll have to work with a lot of different tools to make it all work together, and things can break more often. So the point is, you have created a lot of tech channels for it to work. And the problem with when you bring a lot of tech channels is, when there are a lot of channels, things can break. And so that's why it's always good to choose fewer channels, more reliable channels, and things you think are your first baby steps. You fix them, you then expand. And if that being the background or the thought process, which are the 2 channels of all the channels that you would choose, and why?
So I would choose the smartphone app and the accessibility focused tablet that we kind of had. So the app, just because more people have smartphones, and the accessibility tablet too, because the elderly can sometimes struggle with the use of smartphones. So I think those are the 2 most different users.
Last question. You said you will arrange transport, and you will do, among other things. How will you actually make money? Because your team will grow, you'll have to pay bills, you'll have to pay salaries. No matter how good your intention, your energy provider is still going to send you a bill every month. So how will you make money, and how will you thrive? This is the last question.
Okay, for transport specifically, I was thinking that we could add maybe the user has a caregiver in the area, and the app will notify the user's caregiver to provide that transport. But in terms of making money generally, I think I mentioned it, is that we hope that by advertising this as a sort of a way to keep the elderly healthy, we can lower the cost of healthcare that they would provide, and therefore leverage that against the funders of the healthcare.
The most common sentence I hear in talks is "you're on mute." Sorry for that. So thank you. Very good answers. I have no further questions.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Ameen.